Welcome everyone, this is Zozo StockWatch, and this is your StockWatch list for Tuesday, October 31st, and that's also Halloween. So have a great Halloween night tomorrow night on October 31st. Let's go ahead and get into a trade that I called, and then we'll get into the watch list. We were watching First Solar, and First Solar was very strong today, FSLR. All right, and that stock was showing strength. You're looking at a 2-minute chart, and you see the strength here that First Solar had. And this was my first call of the day for today, Monday, October 30th. And we call this over $17.03. All right, here's the timestamp from the room at 9:47 a.m. Zozo StockWatch, and that's my handle in the room. CSIQ over 1703. Stop break of 1692. Now all the alerts are placed in the room and called on the microphone before they trigger. So here's the line here, 1703. We were watching over 1703, and the stock continued up to about $17.45. So very nice trade. We talk about trimming and trailing as the stock is moving up, and I had some members that were taking profits off, and also some that are actually holding this for a swing trade also. So this is also how a day trade can become a swing trade when you get a nice cushion in the stock. And as you can see, it closed right back up at that 1745 level. But we were taking some profits as the stock moved up. Now this was my one and only trade. I do not overtrade. The market was a little bit, I don't know, slow today this morning. Some stocks that I had on my front burner for trades just weren't, giving me the entry that I wanted in the morning in the 9:30 hour, so I had to pass, and then I waited till about this was my first trade at about 13 minutes before 10 o'clock. So usually a little later than I normally like to trade, but it was Monday and I was going to take my time, so I got this really nice trade and a nice continuation move, and that's pretty much all I needed for the day. And I didn't trade for the rest of the day, kept on to my gains, held on to my gains for the day, and very happy that I did that because the market today was definitely a little bit sluggish. There was some movement in some other names, and we'll go into that. But this was my one and only trade for the day, and thank goodness it was a good one and all that I needed for the day. So let's go ahead and get you set up for tomorrow for your watch list and the watch list that I'm going to produce for tonight for the video. Some of the top gainers, and this is courtesy of the trade exchange, we had SPCB. MICT, CPLA, CAA was a takeover by Lennar, ADMS, XNet, CRME, MBIO, GBT, APTO, BAK, and Mattel, MAT, were all the top gainers for the day today. For your top losers today, AVIR, PSTI, GRVY, JMU, PTIE, VST, AMD, Merck, DBVT, APVO, and GSUM, and finally Macy's on the top losers for the day. If we go ahead and look at some of the call activity for the day, courtesy of the trade exchange, unusual call activity in General Electric, GE, UFS, CTRP, WMB, RDC, IR. Also unusual call activity to the put side for unusual activity at GoPro and GPS. So those were the two with unusual put activity today. So let's go ahead and take a look at some activity for tomorrow for the economic side. The FOMC meeting begins, and don't forget the FOMC announcement is at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. That's the 1st of November. So the FOMC announcement will be at 2 p.m. on Wednesday if they're going to raise rates or not going to raise rates. But the meeting does begin tomorrow, so we don't really have to worry about it tomorrow. 8:30 we have employment cost index. We also have the Red Book, 9 o'clock. We have the S&P Case-Shiller, that's for housing at 9 a.m. 9:45, we have Chicago PMI. 10 o'clock, o'clock, we have consumer confidence. 10 o'clock, we also have the State Street Inventory Confidence Index. And 4:30, the all-important API crude oil data, and that comes out at 4:30 after the market closes tomorrow for Tuesday, October 31st. Don't forget, you do have some numbers coming out from Asia tonight. 9 o'clock, you have China manufacturing PMI. You also have at 7:30 Japanese household spending, and at 10 minutes to 8 Japanese industrial production. So those will be coming out this evening for Monday, October 30th. If you notice, I'll click on this and you'll see the earnings coming out for tomorrow. It's going to get really fast and furious with the earnings before the bell. You can see all the names coming out. After the bell, you have a lot of names coming out also, and I'll leave that up for a second so you can see that. Also, we have this week, we have Apple reporting earnings, Facebook reporting earnings, Tesla also reporting earnings this week. So very busy week as far as economic and also earnings for the week. If we go ahead and get into the earnings calls for Tuesday, and this is courtesy of the earnings cast, and you see the conference calls for tomorrow in the 8 o'clock hour, then in the 9 o'clock hour, and then 10 o'clock, and also 11 o'clock, 12, and then your earnings calls for after the bell tomorrow, and that's courtesy of earningscast.com. So take a look at that. For your future so far, it's about 3 minutes to 7 my time, Eastern time, and currently the futures are down about, the Dow futures down about 9, S&P futures down about 1, and the NASDAQ futures also down about 1. If we go ahead and look at commodities, gold not doing too much in the overnight session so far, and oil closed around $54.08. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at some of the markets today. We'll start off with the SPY. As you can see, kind of a inside day, sluggish day. We had that big pop though on Friday, and today we still held above the 5 and the 10 SMAs on the daily chart here, but not a big move for the bulls or the bears. Kind of a inside indecisive day. Neither one making much traction, and that's kind of what put the stall on a lot of day trades for me. But we also do swing trades in the service, so we did start some swing trades today in some names. So we did find some things that were interesting. So the SPY, while it was holding up, just couldn't get going over this 258 spot on the SPY. If we go ahead and look at the Qs, they were much stronger today. Names like Amazon, Google continued up. Google not so much, but Facebook moved up today. Let's check out Intel. That was one of the stocks that had earnings Friday. So, holding the gains from Friday, but couldn't really hold another push up for the day. Microsoft also, holding the gains from Friday and trying to hold up over that 83 level right now in Microsoft. But the QQQ was definitely the stronger sector today. IBB, we recovered a little bit off of this 150 SMA, and we did get this kind of confirmation candle over this hammer candle here, and we spoke about that on last night's video about the IBB and seeing if we could get a confirmation candle in the IBB. IWM, we're holding above this 148 level right here, a little bit below. We came down to a low of 147.39. We also had a low here of 147.22. So 147 right now is the number for the IWM, the number to watch, as you see these bottoming tails there in that 147 area. And then the number we want to try to get back over, obviously, is that 149, 150 area for the IWM. If we go ahead and take a look at the IWC, this one did not fare as well today. I mean, we did hold this 93 spot here, but we still remained under the 10 SMA and the 5 EMA for the day on the IWC. So we'll see what they want to do with that. We'll also take a look at the IYT. That's the transports, Dow Jones transports, and not a very good candle here, but we are trying to hold this 176 spot on the IYT, but currently we're down below the fast moving averages on the IYT, so you want to keep an eye on that. Also, we'll take a look at the Dow Jones 30 stocks, holding this 5 EMA, but maybe trying to, roll over a little bit here now on the Dow Jones. We'll have to see what tomorrow brings if more volume comes in for Tuesday. But we are still holding that 5 EMA, and we are still holding this 10 SMA on the Dow Jones. All right, so that's just a little look at the markets. We'll get into the stocks that I have on watch for tomorrow right now. Before we get into the stocks at watch, a little information here on IDRA. They had a direct to purchase 8 million shares at $1.50. So IDRA is popping up in the after hours, excuse me. IDRA popping in the after hours here on that insider purchase. We had some news here on MRIN. That stock not doing too much in the after hours. SXCP. Not doing too much. That had a 10% owner. Sun Coal purchased 23,000 shares, but not much action in the after hours. So mostly this IDRA is moving up. And let's just check that IMDZ. 10% owner column purchased over 2 million shares. IDMZ not doing too much in the after hours. TRU secondary offering. TRU. That stock down a tad in the after hours. So that's pretty much it for the after hours news that came out. A bunch of earnings came out, mostly in small companies. Nothing, no big names really after the bell tonight. Cray, we'll just take a look at that one. CRAY. That stock popped a little bit and is, holding some of the gains. Other than that, this is the news from the trade exchange, MDLZ. And, that stock popped. Mondelez, they popped, and then they're kind of just flagging here on their earnings on Mondelez. All right, folks, so that's pretty much the news after bell. Kind of light in the news. RCII, Rent-A-Center had earnings after the bell, and we'll check that one out. We did get a pop in RCII. It popped and then pulled back, but not really much more action after that earnings came out. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into it. ALSK is one stock that I have on watch. It's a little bit light on the shares here, though. That's the only thing, 67,000 shares, but the chart is kind of shaping up. I think if it can get over, if it can get over this 250 area here, it might become interesting on that name. All right, so there's ALSK, watching for that 250 break. You see we hit it here, but the volume, once again, a little bit light for me on this name. We'll go ahead and check out AMPE. This stock actually popped a little bit in the after hours. During the day, it was kind of just holding this right at this 120. Then it dropped down, sold off. Then the buyers came in around this 115 spot, and the stock pushed up in after hours. So we'll have this one on watch to see if it sets up intraday on that name. 3.2 million shares. APTO. This one, we talked about in the video last night, starting to get over this 150 spot. Now, 600,000 shares. Would like to see more shares come in. It's holding above the 50 SMA. Not a bad looking candle here. Solid candle. Buyers came in at this 135 area, pushed it up. So we'll see if there's any kind of continuation move in that. BlackBerry kind of popping off of the 1075, 1065 area here, and back above 11 and back above the 10 SMA. So this one is on watch. We'll see if it'll set up. More like a swing trade, though, in BB. And by the way, that's BlackBerry. It used to be BBRY, but they changed their symbol now to BB. So just in case you didn't know that. And so we'll be watching that one for more of a swing trade. CGIX, nice pop today. 400,000 shares. Big candle here. We'll see if it sets up. It had news this afternoon or this morning, and it popped up. I couldn't find a trade or a way into it, but we'll see if maybe intraday it wants to give us a trade tomorrow. CHK, an oil name, kind of popping here. It's very heavy stock. Would be more of a swing trade type of thing. So I'll keep an eye on this, maybe over $4 or $3.95 to see if it can get going with some continuation. CRME. over 700,000 shares, starting to turn the corner here. We'll see how this one sets up for tomorrow. The high today was $1.55, so watch it over that $1.56 area on this CRME. Maybe it gives a pop. CSIQ, like I said, we traded this one in the room today over this 17 spot. I believe it has earnings on, I'm going to say November 8th or 9th. So check that for yourself if you're going to trade this. I do have some traders that are still in this and looking for that 1750 break. So if it breaks 1750, you might get a nice continuation move in CSIQ. We'll take a look at some other solar names real fast. JASO not looking too bad here. JASO, if you want to add that to your list of stocks to watch, we had a $7.64 high on this name. So if we can get back over that, you might get a nice continuation move. SPWR popped but pulled back, has kind of a shadow candle here now, so I don't like it as much. And First Solar was the FSLR was the big winner today. Nice big pop up there on that name. And I really didn't see any other solars running. We'll check. That JASO was doing good. JKS, this one turned the corner too. Got back over the 50 SMA, but I think I like JASO. I like this daily chart much better than the other names. And then there's CSIQ. Dish, trying to pop off the bottom here on Dish. So we'll see if this can give any kind of continuation move on the name. All right, so keep your eye on that one. DPW, this is an under $1 name, trying to get over that 70 cent, 72 cent spot here. So keep your eye on that 72 cents. On this name, DPW, electronic components. 1.1 million shares. If it can break that 72, maybe it goes up through 75 cents on that name. Goose, they're basically manufacturing coats and warm coats, winter coats, things like that. And I guess winter is coming, right? We can only hold it off for so long. And Goose, turning up here, getting some volume. So maybe this one might be an interesting play. HMNY, I'm looking for maybe a bounce play today. I'm thinking maybe this break of the 50 SMA was a head fake, and maybe it's going to turn back up. So we'll see on this HMNY. I mean, the stock was up, in the 30s, and then it pulled back all the way back down to 9. So we'll see if there's anything there, a reversal or something. IDRA. Like we said, this one had news after the bell. Was up here at $1.80, so we'll see if there's any kind of trade in this one. IZEA. This one, trying to hold this 200 SMA, trying to get back over $3.50. Volume a little light today, but I'll have it on watch to see if it wants to make a move. McDonald's. If you like to play the bigger names, McDonald's holding up nicely, starting to get back over the 10 SMA, pulled back here to the 13 EMA, the purple dotted line you see here. It's back over 166, so maybe this one continues up in McDonald's. MICT, this was one of my front burner stocks, but it just did not do anything. It's an under $1 name, so I'll have it on watch to see if it wants to do anything tomorrow. MICT. NEOT. This one, trying to get back over the 5 EMA. I'm kind of watching this, 136 area to get it back over this consolidation here, and then I'd want it to kind of take out that 140 spot on NEOT. So keep your eye on this one. Maybe you get a nice continuation move. It is trying to get back over the 200 SMA, and maybe it will give a pop. It's holding the 13 EMA right now on NEOT. PDS. Another one of these oil names that popped, 5.4 million shares. Obvious number here is, it's had problems here at the 100 SMA before and that $3 area. Let's see if it can get back over $3. SRNE. Looking for this one to take out the 200 SMA, which is currently at 276. So over like 277, 278. Maybe this SRNE wants to make a turn up. STRL, they had earnings after the bell. Construction company popped. We'll see if there's any kind of trade in this one tomorrow. TEUM, kind of in this tight coil pattern here. Let me take this line off here. Trying to get back over this 200 SMA. The 200 SMA currently is at 126. So if we can get over that 126, or if it sets up somehow in a base or something under that 125, 126 area, TEUM, maybe we get a pop in that one. TRXC. This one had a nice pop, pulled back, holding the 20 SMA. Now it's trying to turn up again, turn back up. So maybe over 295 for the $3 break. You see the resistance lines you have up ahead. So we'll see if this one sets up intraday. And then VISI had a couple of big pops here. It's still holding above the 5 EMA. Let's see if it gets back over 4 tomorrow. If this one can make a move on VISI. Next up, WPCS. Some volume came into the name, over 900,000 shares. It's holding this 200 SMA area here. Maybe trying to get back over the 10. The high today was 164. So maybe 166, 170. And maybe that one gets going again. XRF, I really don't know anything about this company. I saw it coming up on my trade ideas scans. It's kind of pulled back from the highs here. It's holding the 50 SMA, and then it had a big move up. So we'll see, maybe intraday. Yandex, this one, trying to get back over that 33.25 area on Yandex. 3.3 million shares. It's back above the 50 SMA, so maybe if it gets back over that 33.25 area, you might get a continuation move in Yandex, YNDX. And that's all I have for you, folks. This has been Zozo Stockwatch at zozostockwatch.com. Come check out our service. If you do like these videos and you find my watch list helpful, please hit that like button and also retweet my videos. I'd greatly appreciate that. And also, if you're new to the videos, hit the subscribe button so you'll always be notified when I make a new video. Have a wonderful evening, everybody, or a wonderful morning. Whenever you listen to these videos, have a great night.